Hey guys, welcome back to the PillowFort podcast. I am Luke, also known as Shonen Express here on the YouTube channel. And once again, I am joined by Kate, going over One Piece. So we're only on the second arc of One Piece so far, so it's the Orange Town arc if you're reading along with us. There will be spoilers this week, many of them, for chapters 8 through 21 of One Piece. And I don't feel bad about that at all, because this came out, and I think it came out in like 2000.
Yeah.
So if you're not I mean, you've had time to do this. But still, go read it if you haven't read it. But there will be spoilers for the Orange Town arc. So Kate.
Yeah.
As I ask every week, first impressions. You got any first initial thoughts from this arc after reading it?
Yeah. I really like this arc a lot, to be honest. I think the first arc was a great introduction to Luffy especially, but now we're starting to see more characters come to the forefront, and that's something that is such a crucial thing, I think, especially for One Piece, because I think One Piece honestly has some of the most interesting characters out of like a lot of the animes that I've seen and the mangas that I've read before. So it's cool to see more villains come to the forefront, as well as more possible comrades come to, the forefront in this arc especially. So yeah, I'm really into it for sure.
Yeah, I really like it. I like, and we'll get into this a little later too, but I really like how that first arc has like set some things. It's like told us some things about who Luffy and Zorro are that like even come back as early as this arc. Like and we'll talk about them when we get there. But I really liked seeing some of that. But yeah. So the first thing I would like to bring up is how incredibly lucky these two are.
Yes.
I can't believe they're not dead. They are in the middle of the ocean. Here's the thing, and I could have said this last week, right? Maybe I should have said it last week when Luffy got himself caught in a whirlpool, but he can't even swim, and he somehow survived that scenario.
He's fine.
I probably should have said it then, but now it's okay. Well, at least there's Zorro. He can swim. At least we think he can swim. Have we seen him swim? I feel like we've seen him. Is that weird? Is that a spoiler?
Know.
Did I tell him?
I mean...
I've now told the people that he can swim. They know.
Oh, no.
All 10 of them know that they can swim. That he can swim. Darn it.
Guys, we're so sorry.
But even... I'm so sorry. I'll never make it up. Anyway. No, but so, at least Zorro could, save Luffy if he falls into the water, right?
Right.
But not when Luffy launches himself at a bird and gets his head stuck in a bird all the way across the ocean. And Zorro is, paddling, I can only assume at the speed of, a car through the water. Because these guys are hey, help us out. And he, runs them over.
Yeah. He does not care whatsoever.
No.
I think a theme just for probably every arc of One Piece could be, how are they still alive?
Oh, for sure.
Everybody that reads One Piece, watches One Piece, will question that during the whole time. How are they still living?
We've gotten to now the character that I think is responsible for most of their basic survival abilities. Because these two morons will not hold it down. Left to their own devices, they're not going to get to an island, much less the Grand Line.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Zorro, when he comes onto the boat, he's to Luffy, you don't have any navigation skills? You don't...
And how incredibly hilarious is it for him to say that to Luffy?
Yeah, and he's already on the boat, right? He did not ask about this before.
He's in. He's committed at this point. He's in the boat.
But I mean, it is kind of fair to assume, I feel even though how dim-witted Luffy can be sometimes, that like the captain of the ship like asking him to be his first crew member would know some navigation skills, but he has none. They just wade out into the ocean and hope for the best.
It's like, where were they going? I don't even understand. Like, neither of them knew. They just were like, I'm hungry. I'm very hungry.
Yeah.
Then we get the bird incident. Yeah, but this arc has introduced another character to us. Well, several characters, but the one I'm currently thinking of is Nami. We got to meet Nami for the first time in this arc. So what are general thoughts about Nami and her little introduction here?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first introduction that you get to Nami is they're definitely trying to hammer in that point that she does not like pirates. That she has clearly... I really couldn't tell.
Yeah,
like she has clearly really
flew
had
under the radar.
Past. Yeah, no, it was super low-key, honestly. Like, so if you missed it...
She didn't say it 6 or 7 times.
It's not like they said it so many times throughout this arc, but...
Once a chapter. Yeah. I hate pirates!
I hate
Luffy's like, cool story, bro.
That's really how it was, though. Like, every chapter, Nami was like, I hate pirates. I hate them so much.
This is why I hate pirates. And Luffy's like, okay. But...
Luffy's just like, alright, that's cool, but, like...
Yeah, I'm still definitely gonna be a pirate.
You're still gonna be on my crew, though.
Yeah, still want you on my boat, too. Like,
I don't care if you hate pirates. I need somebody to navigate.
Thank you for your input, but I will die at sea, so I'm gonna need you to come with me.
So, yeah, Zorro and we're gonna need your help. I mean, in more ways than one, I think, like, later on in the series, honestly.
Oh, for sure. This is only going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
Because Nami seems to, obviously, you know, she has her own issues with being pretty greedy on the level of just trying to take, you know, everything that she can. In a way, though, she does make it feel more like she has, like, a Robin Hood almost sense of this, though. Like, you know, we obviously don't know a lot about her yet, but at least she's, like, taking money from people that she believes are bad, right? So,
sure, yeah.
That's at least, you know, I think a little better than, like, I remember in this arc, you know, there was a time where Luffy was like, oh, so you just go and take things from these people's houses, and she's like, no, that would be bad.
No, these are normal townspeople, why would I do that?
She's like, these are normal citizens. Yeah, she's like, I will take things from the evil clown, but I'm not going to take things from these people. But it's good, though, because, I mean, she has this definite stereotype of, you know, how pirates are, how pirates act, you know, and, I mean, accurately so sometimes, I will say, because obviously we have this intro to Buggy, and we can tell that he's definitely not a good person. He's just destroying towns for the fun of it, basically. So, like, we know that he's not a good person, right, and all that stuff. It's just that, you know, it's good that, I think, she met Luffy when she did, even though, like, he's telling her, like, he's not trying to keep it a secret that he's a pirate and wants to become king of the pirates. He's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And, I mean, she doesn't like him a whole lot, but... I mean, she does kind of use him, though, to pursue her own goals. But she doesn't like him until he shows that he's not actually like those other pirates that just destroy things, destroy people's lives just for the fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to go into my Nami thoughts, but I have to ask, do you think there's a moment in this arc where that switches for Nami?
Absolutely, yeah.
And if so, what's the moment? Because I think I have the same moment in my head. I feel like there's a clear moment, but
I definitely do, too.
When was it?
That moment was when, so after Shushu tried his best to defend the pet store, and it still ended up getting burnt down, which is like, I love Shushu so much. Like,
we'll get into him too, but like...
He's so amazing.
Shushu's the real hero.
He is the real hero. But
it's the dog food, right? It's the dog food moment.
Yeah, it's the dog food. It's when he goes back into the rubble and tries to get whatever he can, and it's like, this is the only thing I could recover, but this is something that you can still protect. That really, Nami changed her entire demeanor after that moment towards Luffy, because he did that. And because he showed that he cared even to a dog. Like, he didn't have to do that necessarily, but he did, because he thought the dog was, brave and, such a great dog that he just wanted to do that. But that was definitely the moment.
Yeah. I'm glad that you thought that, too, because I thought that. I really like Nami in this read-through. Maybe more than I have in past read-throughs or watch-throughs. But, I really like, I like that she is, she comes with, this air of, cleverness and smart, she's clearly, if we're looking at the 3 people that are on the crew right now, she's clearly the smartest. But, she's not so smart that she shouldn't be here, right? So, one of the... I just think it's interesting that, I think I tend to view Nami as, more of a snarky, smart character. And I'm like, she fits here, though. Because, when she was gonna... When, Buggy was gonna force her to shoot Luffy with the cannon, she, fought back. And that is a dumb thing to do, just objectively. Yeah. You're Luffy is in a cage, he's not gonna help you, and you hit the Buggy crew member with your staff anyway. That's a bad move, but a very Straw Hat Pirate move.
Absolutely.
To do. A very she belongs with these guys, but it's just she's kind of she's very different, but I think that there's enough there that it's okay, I understand why she's here, why she's willing to travel with them at least, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I like her in this arc. I think this arc really does a good job of laying the groundwork for showing you that she is a good person. She is morally a decent human being, but she's definitely got. It also shows you several major flaws that she has.
Right.
She is super greedy to the point of almost killing herself.
Yes.
And she is very deceiving and snake-like almost like that. Yeah. So there is negative aspects, but I think it lays the groundwork really well for Nami. I think after this arc you can walk away being okay, I understand Nami pretty decently.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I like that.
Yeah, definitely after this, there definitely have been some watch-throughs or read-throughs of One Piece where when I was younger, especially, I really didn't like Nami at all. I was she's just greedy, and, I don't really like her, and she's got this kind of, snarky attitude about stuff. But I think, as the years progress, and I start to understand more of the levels of her personality, and especially in that moment where you're talking about, where she fights, and she doesn't have to, but she has these moral, stances that she's willing to take, and I think that that just makes me like her more as a character.
Yeah, I think it and this is a theme that we're definitely. I mean, you've read and watched up to Enies Lobby or Water 7, but this is definitely a theme we're gonna see from this pirate crew going forward. Is this theme of doing the right thing when it counts?
Exactly.
Almost always.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of not doing the right thing when it counts, let's talk about Buggy and his little band. I love Buggy so much. I have so much Buggy love in my heart. Why is his nose like that? That's his real nose. Why is it like that? What? I don't understand.
Yeah. That's a question that we can probably ask about a lot of different characters. I mean,
you definitely can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think, the first one for sure. Where you're how is somebody born like that? That's not possible. How does he have a red nose?
How ironic is it that I said he had a weird nose right before the arc we're gonna go into?
Yeah. That's so true.
Spoiler alert for another 20-year-old manga arc.
Next up, we'll be saying, how is his nose like that again?
Pinocchio would be jealous. Anyway, Buggy. We're talking about Buggy. Let's leave Usopp on the side. But I just really like Buggy. I really like how evil he is. I like how, like, mean he... Not even evil, per se. Like, he definitely is messed up. But it's, like... It's more just, like, needlessly cruel.
Yes.
Like, just like, mean. I like... But anyway, what... Do you have any thoughts on Buggy? How'd you feel about him when you reread here?
Yeah, I do like Buggy a lot as a villain. Just because, like you said, he is just cruel for no reason. And at the same time, he sometimes just acts like a full-blown child. Like,
yeah,
he cannot...
Oh, my word, yeah.
He cannot stand when anyone says anything bad about, his nose especially, he's so sensitive about.
It's incredible. It's incredible that he went his whole life being that sensitive about it. It's just amazing.
And I mean, we know that, if there's something weird about your outward appearance, Luffy is going to point it out if you're mean to him, so...
The first thing Luffy's going to see. So the first thing Luffy saw was that nose. That's all he saw. Couldn't see past it.
Like, if you're a nice person and you have something weird about you, Luffy's not going to say anything about it. He might, honestly, though.
I feel like there's got to be a time where he does, where he definitely does.
Yeah, I guess that's not completely
I can't
true.
remember it, but...
but definitely
it's usually in a more positive way.
Yeah, it's in a more positive way then. Yeah, but he's just like, your big red nose.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, there's several things I like about Buggy. I like Buggy and how, like, Oda styled him as a pirate.
Yeah.
I love, because this is our first, like, I mean, I guess Alvita was a pirate enemy, but, like, she was in one chapter, right? This arc is, like, 14 chapters, and Buggy is the main villain this whole time. So, like, this is the first, like, real pirate threat that we've seen. And, like, I love that he's a pirate that uses cannonballs. That's a pirate thing to do.
It is.
Is to use cannons.
It's very piratey.
He is maybe the only pirate in One Piece that uses cannons.
Yeah, that's so true. Wow.
I love. Yeah, it's a surprising lack of cannons for a show about pirates.
I think I just realized that for the first time.
Yeah.
He really is one of the only ones that uses actual cannons.
And then later he doesn't even use we're not going to get that far because I don't even think you've seen that. But, like, I love Buggy. But he, also, his devil fruit. I think people make fun of his devil fruit, right? I think that people make fun of it. I think people are like, this is a bad power. It's not that great. Let me shut that down right now. He could be so tough. He could be as strong as Luffy. Yeah. There's no doubt. He should be as strong as Luffy. I feel like he's only been slacking off in the East Blue, and that's why he's this weak. But like, listen, there is not a swordsman alive that can do a thing to Buggy.
Right.
I mean, I say that, but if Zorro punched him in the face, it would probably still hurt a lot, so...
Yeah.
He doesn't have to use the swords. But I'm just saying, like, you have a huge advantage over, like, a lot of people. Because you can't be cut.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which is cool. I like his powers. I just like his powers,
too.
you know?
Yeah.
I like the Chop Chop Festival. I like everything going on.
Yeah, it's good, but, I mean, a part of me is also, like, it is not that hard to deter in some situations.
No, it's not, yeah. This is what I'm saying. He's got to know his weaknesses and then not just leave his feet there.
Yeah, he can't, like,
or his whole lower half.
Yeah, that he has, like, weaknesses. And that if he just leaves his body with the main part of his body with the main enemy he's fighting, that they're gonna do something about that. They're probably not just gonna sit there and be like, okay, That was really funny, though, the moment where, like, Luffy just straight up kicked him in the junk and then
Yeah.
left his lower half.
Yeah. Just like, I love his faces to Nami, and like Nami's getting more freaked out the more this goes on.
Because Nami can't see what's happening.
Yeah.
She just thinks he's absolutely insane and charging after her and all this stuff. And Luffy's just over there kicking him.
Buggy's so fun. Buggy is so fun. Here's the thing, though, and this is like a part of the thing that I think Oda is just a good writer, right?
Yeah.
He has to, like, Buggy is clearly a very goofy character, right?
Yeah.
But he has to establish, no pun intended with the whole clown thing, but he has to establish that, like, he's a threat, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I think him stabbing Zorro in the beginning of this arc is a great way to be like, yeah, he's goofy, but, like, don't play around too much.
Right.
Because, like, he is a pirate, and he does deserve some rep.
Right. And also, like, establishing, I think, even in that same action, that he doesn't have any respect for his enemies. In that, you know, he stabs Zorro in the back, which is, like, a huge no-no, largely, you know, especially, I think, in, you know, Japanese culture and all that. Like, that's a big, like, you do not attack an enemy's back because you need to face them. It's not a very samurai
thing to do.
Yeah, it's a samurai thing to do. Like, you face them head on, like, face to face. You don't, like, go for their back because that's showing them disrespect, and just you trying to kind of get your licks in when their back is turned is, like, seen as cheap almost. So I think it definitely establishes him as, like, somebody that also doesn't have respect for the people that he faces most of the time.
Yeah. And even, I think it establishes the opposite of it, too. I think it establishes for Zorro that he so doesn't think he'll attack him like that.
Yeah.
That he's not ready. Like,
yeah.
He gets stabbed in the back because he's so not expecting him. I mean, to be fair, he did cut the guy in, like, several pieces, so most of the time, I'm sure when Zorro has done that, the person is dead, so he wouldn't probably be expecting a stab. But like Zorro is definitely, I think it says something like he's just not expecting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe at some point we'll get a quote specifically from Zorro about stabbing in the back. Interesting. And I mean, that makes sense, right? I mean, because he would hold the most out of everybody, you know, like, disrespect for an action like that, because he was basically raised as a samurai, right? So, like, we know that means that, you know, he would hold that with him in pretty much every battle that he goes into, right? Is that he's never going to do that, even if his enemy decides to. Yeah, I mean, later on, there's a character that travels with him for a little while that literally, she calls him Mr. Bushido, which Bushido is just the way of the samurai.
Yeah.
And so that's what his name is to her for, like, most of their time together.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Mr. Honorable. That's essentially what she's saying.
Right.
Like, yeah, but in a little way, I think I don't think it's like a huge establishing thing, but I think in a little way it shows that Zorro is unprepared to take attacks like that.
Right, definitely.
And we're bouncing all over the place, but you know what I haven't mentioned? I love Luffy's absolute certainty that Nami's going to be on this crew. Yeah. I mean, he did it with Zorro too, where he's like, "You're gonna be on my crew," and Zorro was like, "I did not agree to that."
No.
But like, I just like that. I like seeing Luffy do it. I like seeing Luffy being like, "You're my navigator," and Nami's like, "I hate pirates with everything I am." And he's like, "Haha, that's hilarious. Get in the boat."
That's funny, but also, you're my navigator now.
But also, what do you mean, navigator? You're a pirate now. What are you talking about? You hate pirates.
And I like how he's also like, he's just gonna take what he can get for the moment, right? So she's like, okay, we can be like cooperating on this or whatever,
Yeah.
but we're not like comrades, we're not like partners, you know, we're not anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
she's just like, no, I don't want to be associated with pirates, right? And he's just like, okay, but you're gonna be a part of my crew.
But you're gonna come with me. I can feel it. I just like I like his certainty. Like like it's really like almost reassuring, you know?
Yes.
He's a very good character. Luffy is just a very good character, but I love that like just his almost like his bullheadedness, but it's not in a mean way. Like it's not like he can be definitely intimidating.
Yeah.
But like he is just like, this is how it's gonna be, and I'm gonna make it that way.
Right.
Like, and it's not even like he's not even trying to. He's not like saying to Nami like, get on the boat or I'll like hurt you. He's just like, you're gonna come with us, right? Like this just makes sense. You're gonna get in the boat, right? There's no way you're not getting in the boat.
Come on.
Like, come on. Like this is like, and it's like nice. Like I like that. I think it's like really cool. I think it's especially as we see like more and more villains. I think it's like a refreshing thing that Luffy is this pirate who is just like that. He's just kind to most people. Right. Unless you give him a reason to not be kind.
Right. And then he's not going to be kind to you, you know?
No.
So
no.
That's how it works. And I enjoy that about him a lot too. That, you know, he's just unwilling once he sets his sight on somebody being a crew member. He's unwilling to let that go, but like in the nicest way, he's unwilling to let that go. Like no matter how much the other person like yells at him, screams at him, it's like, I'm not gonna join your crew. He's like, yeah, okay.
Does it feel like that gets like more? I mean, you've seen a lot of more crew members come on board, but like, do you think that gets more progressively the case?
Yeah.
Because I feel like as we add more, he just does it more. They have more reasons to not go with him, and he's just like, cool story. Let's get on the boat.
Let's go. Come on.
He just like comes up with ways to get them on the boat.
Right, and obviously, like there are some, you know, crew members that come and join his crew, you know, because they want to initially, but I think definitely for a lot of them, it's this mentality of, like, I don't want to be a pirate, I don't want to join this crew, and, like, I think the best thing about it is, like, Luffy has that persistence, right, of just always saying to them that you're gonna join my crew, like, you're gonna get on my boat, you know, like, just join my crew, but also, at the same time, he's kind of unknowingly, I think, to him, like, showing them with his actions why they should join the crew, you know?
Yeah, that's what I thought, too, as you were saying that. I was like, they want to join the crew, right? Like, they're not, I think, like, they like, there are reasons that some characters, like, if I'm thinking about Nami and Zorro right now, right, that we've seen come on board, I guess Nami's not a crew member at this point, she's just traveling with them, but, like, the two members that we've seen go with Luffy, both of them are like, absolutely not. And both of them are like, specifically, I don't want to be a pirate.
Yeah.
But like, Luffy just has this way about him that like, you want to be around him.
Yeah.
Even if you're not kind of like, I just like Luffy. Luffy's great. He's a great character. But, moving on. As we've touched a little bit earlier, there is maybe the best dog ever in this arc. Shoo-Shoo. Shoo-Shoo, whatever it is, Shoo-Shoo. He's amazing. He's great. I love him. And the mayor. We could talk about Mayor Boodle a little bit, but I feel like there wasn't a lot of thought put into the mayor, but
no.
we can group him in with Shoo-Shoo. I love that the mayor is like he goes through the whole story of like the shop owner like went to the hospital and he said, hey, guard the shop while I'm gone. And so Nami's like, oh, so he's like still waiting for his owner to come back. And the mayor's like, I don't think so. I think he's guarding it because it's all he has left of him. Not because, like, as if the dog understood that he was gone. And this is like he's holding on to this memory in this way. I'm like, that makes me like Shushu more. That
Yes.
just makes me like, I'm just like, I like it better now. I like him better now. I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, I know. I loved Shushu just so much because every time like I re-go through this series, I'm always waiting for Shushu.
Yeah.
I'm like, Shushu is a highlight of the beginning of this story for sure. Just because, you know, I feel like he does understand in a way that his owner is gone, right? But he
for
still
sure.
wants to not only protect the only thing that he has left of him, but fulfill his owner's dying wish was for him to protect the store. So he's gonna do everything in his power to make that happen.
Literally fight a lion. He fought a lion.
A lion.
He is essentially like a Shih Tzu-sized dog.
Right.
And he fought a lion.
And
that lion is huge. That lion's not even a normal lion. That's a massive lion.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he may not be unafraid, but he has so much, you know, so many of his emotions just tied up into this place that he refuses to let anybody, whether it be a giant lion or just a regular person, to, you know, try and infiltrate the store and try to take things that aren't theirs. Like, and that's just so amazing. Like, for a dog to have that much character development, like, and it's just so crazy because I feel like you read a lot of, like, manga or watch, like, anime that has, like, animal characters, but, like, you know, it's rarely, like, an actual, like, animal with, like, nothing really special about them that has that much development, you know?
It's just like, a normal dog.
It's just a normal dog. Like, he's a regular dog, and he has all this development and all this bravery inside of him, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just love it. And, like, the moment that first of all, Luffy's fight, I don't know if you remember this in your head, but there is a panel. Luffy's fight with Moji, right?
Yeah.
With, I guess, technically Richie and Moji, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He punches Moji, and there is this panel of him, like, punching down on him, and it is way too epic for what this fight is.
Right.
Like, it's a really cool panel, but, like, it's so, like, satisfying. Like, the whole place is on fire. First of all, I don't know how the lion raiding the dog food place caught the place on fire.
Yeah, not
I don't
really
know what
sure.
happened there. Like, and it seems unnecessarily cruel that Moji just lit it on fire. I mean, like, that's possible. It's very possible. But, like, that's just wrong, is what that is. But I love that Luffy is like, Luffy takes the dog food from the mouth of the lion and brings it back and puts it down in front of Shushu. And is like, this is what I got for you. Yeah. And then Shushu takes it and moves on.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a cool thing.
It is so cool. It's so amazing. Because you realize, he just moves on. Because he realizes, you know, I don't have to protect this store anymore because it's gone. But that's okay.
Because that bag's his treasure now.
You know, that
bag's his treasure.
That one bag of dog food is now his treasure. And he can carry that with him and remember his owner with that and all that good stuff.
Shushu's amazing.
I almost think that Shushu has, like, more development than, like, any of the actual people in this town.
Definitely in this town. I mean, like, are you kidding me? Absolutely, Shushu is the highlight of Orange Town.
I just think it's so funny how, like, the one person that we focus on to really develop in this town is actually just a regular dog.
It's a dog. It's just a dog.
I love that, though. I mean, I love Shushu so much, and, you know, my heart breaks every time I re-see him standing and, like, howling in front of the burning store. Like, it breaks every time.
It's so hard to see.
Gosh. It's so hard to see because you're just like, oh no. Yeah. That was the last part he had of his owner, and
this dog. This dog is smart enough to know not to go into the fire, right?
Yeah,
but like
he knows not
he still
to.
just stands there and howls at it,
He
and that
howls
is
at it.
so painful.
It's very painful to watch.
I loved it. I loved it. I think it sets the groundwork for Luffy going forward and how he interacts with almost every other island we're gonna see him at.
Yeah.
Where his mode of operation is to like, what is the right thing to do?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it with no frills, right? Like I'm just gonna do that right thing. And if people like me because of that, cool. If they don't, I don't care at all.
Right.
I'm just gonna do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously in this case they liked him, but I love the mayor at the end of this arc, right? When the mayor runs up to the dock and is like, or the townspeople are like bad mouthing Luffy because Luffy decided that he was just gonna say, yeah, we're pirates, we destroyed the town, I knocked the mayor unconscious. Like, he's just like, it's true though. And now Zorro is cracking up, and Nami is like, why would you say that?
Nami was like, you're an idiot.
Zoro's literally laughing. He's too weak to stand up, but he's losing his mind because Luffy just keeps going, yeah, we're pirates.
Yeah.
You're what? Oh, yeah, I knocked the mayor out. That was me.
That was me.
Like,
I like how he could offer an explanation, but he offers nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he just says, oh yeah, I did that to him.
Yeah, he doesn't care. That's the thing. He doesn't care. Luffy doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He just shows up. He
does
does
not.
the thing that he thinks is right, and then he leaves. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't care what you think.
Yeah.
And so, like, I love that the mayor, like, when he gets up, it's like, and all these people are like, these freaking pirates, and he's like, shut up, I'm the only one who can badmouth him, and he runs after him to thank him. I just, like, it's such a, because they are pirates, right? It's, like, such a good way to, like, leave a place.
Right.
Because, like, the mayor knows now, and the mayor will probably tell the other people, like, right? But, like, he knows what happened, and Luffy just doesn't care. Luffy's like, I know what I did. I know I did the right thing, and so I'm fine.
Yeah.
These townspeople, I'm just gonna, you could definitely offer more information, that's for sure. But like, it's just, he doesn't care. He didn't do it for that.
No,
he didn't do it so the townspeople will be like, thank you. He just did it because it was the right thing. Like, it was the thing he thought was the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah. And, like, that's such a powerful thing to carry, I think, with just anybody, is the doing the right thing and then not needing even a thank you after that. It's, like, such an admirable quality, I think, in anyone, and especially, like, Luffy, because he does, like, save this town, you know? And, like, that's... Yeah. Like, if he didn't show up, if he didn't go there and handle Buggy and his crew, the whole town would have been obliterated, probably. So, the thing is like, he deserves to be, like, thanked or whatever, right? But he doesn't care. Like,
No.
He will continue on whether or not he gets thanked, just knowing that he did the right thing, and that's enough for him. And that's just an amazing quality, I think.
It's so admirable, right?
Yeah.
It's so, like, I wish I could be that direct. Like, I wish I could be, not necessarily, like, I'm a pirate and just leave the town, but, like, you know, like, just, like, do the right thing and then just not worry about the rest, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's super admirable. But moving on, unless you have more on that, but
no.
So Zorro has his first, like, what I'd call, like, first one-on-one fights happen in this arc. And Zorro takes on Kabaji, the Acrobat. Did you have any thoughts on this fight? Anything you want to point out?
Yeah, well, I just want to say, first of all, I do like Kabaji's design a lot. So I like how he just, like...
What is appealing about him? I really like looking at it.
Yeah, like, I like that he uses, like, a unicycle or whatever.
It's so weird. It's such a perfect thing for him.
And it's not even... It is weird, and that might be just why I like it, because I think it's really weird that, like, a swordsman... Like, he's a swordsman and an acrobat, right? Which is, like... Which is kind of...
There was, like, a stunning lack of acrobatic skills for a guy whose nickname is Kabaji the Acrobat.
The Acrobat, right. And I was like, okay, I'm expecting him to pull out these acrobatic moves. But really, like, the main thing he did was just, like, jump really high.
Yeah, he, like, rode his unicycle up a building, which is super hard. I mean, like, that's... normal people can't do that, Kabaji, so you're already a step ahead, but still. And then you just drop down on him. Like, that's...
Yeah, so, like, I liked his design. I think he definitely had a lot more potential, for sure, to, like, show that off and, you know, be able to do more with that. But, I did really enjoy the fight that him and Zorro had, especially Zorro's moments in this fight. And, like, the moment where, you know, he injured his own wound further.
Yep.
And he was like, you know, he basically said to him, like, if this is what you want to use to think that you're gonna win, sure, I'll let you do that. But I'm gonna show you the difference in our skill levels. I'm gonna show you that I am a better swordsman than you, even with this really bad injury. And even if I make it worse, I will still be better than you at this, right? Like, and that's just, that was a really cool moment to me. Just him, like, being like, you can't use this as an excuse then, when you lose, right? Like, you can't. Yeah. Because, you know, I was injured, I'm bleeding out over here. Yeah. Right. And, like, you still can't beat me. Like, that's the thing. And I also, it's so funny, because this is the first time we get introduced to Zorro honestly believing that him just sleeping will cure all of his wounds.
it's a real thing. He really thinks. Clearly, this is how he has dealt with wounds in the past.
He just sleeps.
Because, like, when he's on his own, like, there's no one there to help him. He just falls asleep somewhere and then wakes up later and is like, I feel better.
I'm like, okay, Zorro. I mean, that doesn't really help, like, prevent, like, infections and all the other
absolutely not true, Zorro. You're definitely gonna die.
But he doesn't die.
No. No, definitely not.
This is definitely one of those moments where you're like, okay, yeah, you know, nothing critical was hit, technically, with that stab, right? So
how on earth is that true?
That's what they say. I'm like, how do you know that, though?
Yeah. How do you... Does it feel different if you get an internal organ stabbed? You're like, oh, I got a liver on that one. We're gonna have to fix that one up real quick. Like, how do you know, Zorro?
Like, oh, good thing they just missed my intestinal tract.
Yeah. So Zorro's like, I've cut an intestine before, and I know what that feels like.
That is rough.
This is not
I know what
good,
that feels
Zorro.
like.
I feel like most of your midsection has been stabbed through. Yeah, this is not... There's no way that nothing has been cut.
And then he picks up this, like... I don't even know how many pounds it would be cage with Luffy inside of it.
And just
carries it on his back with this injury.
It's literally squirting blood, Zorro. You gotta put it down. There's gotta be a better way.
And even Nami's like, what are you doing? Like, you just got stabbed.
This is what I'm saying. It's like Nami is going to be essential from here on out for these people to live another day. Like, it's going to be incredibly important for her to be there.
Because that'd be...
No, so I was talking with our friend Cliff, who actually was on the first podcast that we did with Hunter x Hunter, right? Yeah. I was talking with him a little bit this week, and he brought up this point that I thought was really cool that I wanted to bring up. Is Zorro is constantly showing that he wants everyone to take this pirate thing more seriously. Yeah. And so this is like the first instance of him being like, this is how serious I am about this. Yeah. And so I feel like, I really like, when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I think you're right. And like, as we'll like, you know, as we go into other arcs and see him fight, you know, other people and stuff, it's super true, I think, that like Zorro was constantly saying, take this more seriously.
Right.
Like, and he is taking it more seriously. And yeah, it's moronic to think that you can fall asleep in the street and wake up later and it's healed. But like, that's why he cuts himself, is because I'm so serious about this that even if I make it worse, I'm still gonna win.
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing, because, like, he is largely, at least at this point, surrounded by people that don't take it as seriously, right? Like, obviously,
yeah,
like,
definitely.
Luffy does seriously want to become the king of the pirates, right? He does seriously want to be a pirate, but he's never serious himself.
No.
Like, he's not.
Yeah.
Unless, like,
might I remind you, this arc started with his head in the mouth of a bird.
Right.
That's how we started.
That's how we started. We began this arc because he thought it was a small bird, and
because he thought he could catch it so that they could eat it, and then he ended up in its mouth.
In its mouth, just being carried so far away, and like that's how he starts. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. He's definitely always showing that he does take that so seriously. Like, basically his new life that he has started.
Right.
With Luffy, he wants to take that seriously and wants to show that, he will achieve his goals by any means necessary. And he thinks that, especially now, being a pirate is the best way to get there. So he's going to take it seriously.
Yeah. I love this. This is another cool thing. It's almost like the opposite of not the opposite, but like very different than like why I find Luffy really cool. Is I love this like wholehearted dedication. Zorro says, I'm gonna do a thing, and he's like, there is nothing that will stop me from doing that thing. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm there. Like, it's just so, like, obviously, he wants to be the greatest swordsman in the world. And we're hopefully at some point in my lifetime at this point going to see him accomplish that. One Piece may never end, so who knows? But and then he's like, he agreed to be a pirate. He agreed to sail with Luffy, and he is like, he's in. He's all in. He's not. This is like, he said, I'm going to do the thing, and he's doing the thing, and like that's really cool too. Like that dedication to a cause. Like, is really cool to me. Like, I like that, too.
Yeah.
Just interesting how intense he is. But we also got a backstory and a connection to somebody that we saw last arc. Buggy's backstory. What do you think? With the full... I know we've already talked about Buggy a little bit.
Yeah.
But everything, how do you feel about that backstory?
Yeah. I like seeing that because... not even just from, like, the Buggy perspective of getting to see, how he got started in the pirate world, but also seeing how Shanks got started in that world is such, I think, an amazing thing to see. And I love how, my favorite thing about that story is how, like, after he says this story, right, he's basically saying it like, Shanks ruined my life, right? Like, Shanks made me eat this devil fruit or whatever.
I accidentally got superpowers that have absolutely helped me in life.
Right.
And he also saved my life. He dived into the water to not have me die.
Because that's what I was going to say. Because, like, immediately after, then Luffy's like, so you're mad that he saved your life?
Yeah, this is another good, like, Luffy just puts it bluntly, and it's so dumb.
Right, because he's so right, because, I mean, Buggy is focusing on the wrong things. Like, he's not focusing on the fact that he literally jumped into the water to save his life. He's just focusing on the fact that because he scared him and jumped up behind him or whatever, and he ended up swallowing the devil fruit whole, first of all, which I don't think that's a thing.
That's incredible. Look at the size of that fruit.
That is a large
Buggy's
fruit.
face. That is incredible that he swallowed. That's like a pineapple. He just swallowed a whole pineapple.
I'm just like, that's definitely not possible.
That's gonna be the worst poop in the world when that's
gonna be a terrible poop. That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Like, does a devil fruit digest though, or does it just like evaporate into your body and give you powers?
Whoa.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's not
I didn't think about
an important question, I guess.
I've never thought about that. I won't think about that ever again, but I've never thought about that.
We don't need to
Listen,
talk
there's a lot of devil fruit lore, right? I'm trying to tiptoe my way through this, right? Because you haven't seen everything. So I'm not sure. I got to think in my head, like, okay, when did they say this? And then I got to tiptoe my way through it. So forgive me. I had to process, do people poop devil fruits?
We don't.
And I don't think so. I don't think we've seen that. I don't think we have a confirmed case of devil fruit poop. So I think we're good.
Right.
Let me know in the comments if there is a confirmed case of devil fruit poop, people.
If you think that devil fruits get digested, let us know.
Yeah, please, please, somebody answer this question. I'm dying. Please, we need the science. We need the science on this. Please.
Oda's the only one that knows, and he will hold on to that secret.
Can I just say, for a guy that told Luffy he was too young to be a pirate, he was a very young kid.
Right.
On that pirate ship. I'm like, alright, Shanks, but it seems like you were raised on a ship, though. So you could have taken him.
And that's the other thing I wanted to say about their backstory, is, like, despite how young they are, like, Shanks is blatantly drinking at that age.
Yeah, listen, pirates got different rules out
and I'm
here.
like, that's straight up a pirate thing, right? Like, you know you're raised as a pirate if you're drinking at however young they were, right? But
if you're like 10 years old and you're like downing
bottle.
multiple rounds of Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, but he definitely, he focused on the wrong things when it came to Shanks there. For sure. Because, I mean, it was his fault from the beginning to try and steal it instead of,
oh, for sure.
Like, actually eating it. Like, that was his idea to do that. So, like, there are gonna be unforeseen consequences to that decision. And this was just the consequence that he faced. He ended up actually eating it instead of selling it like he wanted to. But still, Shanks still saved his life. Like,
yeah. I don't, like, I love that, like, that backstory. There's that one conversation they have, right? Where, like, they're, like, just talking, Mm-hmm. And, like, Shanks is like, Buggy's like, if you weren't so, like, goody two-shoes, I'd let you join my crew. And Shanks is like, I think we should go our separate ways. But, like, it's, like, not, like, a violent conversation. It's, like, a genuine respect conversation. It almost reminds me of, the relationship of, like, Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not trying to compare anybody in that scenario to Buggy. Please. All 10 of you that listen, don't light me up in the comments. Or do. You know what, actually? I think it gets more traction if you do. Please light me up in the comments. But but no, like that kind of like rivalry, almost enemy kind of thing. Because I think, like, in Buggy's head, well, definitely now in Buggy's head, they're enemies. But, like, I'm sure that if Shanks ran into Buggy, he'd be like, hey, Buggy, what's going on, man? Like, how you been? And Buggy would be like, I hate you and everything you stand for. Which is so incorrect of him to do. Like, multiple times in this arc, I'm like, Buggy, you are just like, I'm worried about your mental state, buddy.
Right.
I'm worried about, because he's like, what's the mayor says, the town is my treasure. And Buggy's like, that can't be treasure. Treasure's sparkly. And I'm like, are you okay, Buggy? Did you hit your head too hard? What? This is not a hard concept to understand.
Yeah.
Why do you only think, like, physical jewels can be treasure? That's weird.
And I also,
it's almost more weird.
Yeah, I liked a lot how that was a main concept that was present in this, arc, that treasures aren't just sparkly things. Like, treasures are whatever you want the treasure to be, right? So we saw in, like, Shushu, obviously, like, his treasure was the store. Like, that was his treasure. It was a pet food store, which I don't know how well a pet food store would do at this point in time, but it was still his treasure, even if it didn't get like a whole lot of money or patrons or whatever, and like in a big way too, we saw how Luffy reacted because he said, his treasure is the hat that Shanks gave him, and we saw like there aren't so many moments where you're really like, oh crap, like Luffy's kind of intimidating right now, but definitely one of those moments in this arc was when Buggy ended up stabbing through his hat, and just that one panel of him looking down and his face, I was like, wow, like I'm kind of intimidated by Luffy right now, and that's not usually a feeling that I feel like.
No. I think it's because like Luffy can turn it on when he needs to turn it on. But he's definitely intimidating.
Oh yeah.
That was a definitely intense face. I really like the parallels between how Shushu reacts to like we were talking about earlier, when Luffy puts the bag there and he just takes the bag and walks away with it and like, wags his tail or whatever to like communicate thank you or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the parallels between that and at the end of this fight when Luffy puts the hat back on, even though it's got those rips in it, and he goes, "Oh well, at least I can still wear it."
Right.
I'm like, there's like that. I feel like that's a parallel between like obviously Shushu and Luffy, and it's Luffy showing like the battle's over now, right? Like he's like, there's nothing else to be done about it. But he's like, at least I can still. He's still looking for like the bright side,
absolutely,
and like the way forward all the time, and that's like, I think really cool.
Yeah.
But speaking of that fight, though, I was thinking, and up to this point, I don't, and you might disagree, but I don't think that either Luffy or Zorro have been challenged in a fight yet. And what I mean by that is, so like Zorro, you could make the case of like, okay, well, Kabaji definitely wasn't that easy. But I would say, like, if Zorro wasn't bleeding out, that wouldn't have been like a fight at all, No. And, like, it wasn't much of a fight, and he was bleeding out. And like in Luffy's case, it's like Buggy, like I guess maybe would put up a decent fight,
right?
If he wasn't distracted by Nami, I guess. But, like, at the same time, Luffy kind of very easily takes him out.
Right.
After, like, just sends him flying.
Yeah.
With the small part, with, like, Nami's help. But, like, I feel like Luffy could have definitely easily won that fight,
Right.
And so I'm like, it's interesting to see that, like, so far, we haven't seen Luffy or Zorro, like, just definitely challenged by an opponent yet. Like, wholesale, full health, going against somebody and really being pushed to the brink.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that, because, I mean, what we had when we first, met Zorro and everything, like, it wasn't much of a fight, to be honest. Like,
no.
the enemies...
took Captain Morgan out, like, instantly.
Yeah. Like, the enemies in that situation, they were defeated pretty quickly. Luffy defeated Alvida pretty quickly. Like, we see...
I think literally with one punch.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because I do like how, like, it's kind of unexpected then, like, coming from, because I feel like sometimes you see, like, that archetype in manga where it's, like, the main character or whatever is just so much more powerful than anybody that they encounter. And so it kind of gives you this sense in the beginning, like, you think that that's going to happen again. But then you start to encounter these more difficult enemies, right? And you realize, like, oh, that's not what it's going to be like. It's going to be a struggle for them sometimes to actually defeat their opponents. And, like, that's something that I definitely like to see, for sure.
This is one of the things that I really like, if I can nerd out about manga for a minute. This is, like, one of the things I like about this era of manga specifically. Because the era before it is super, like, packed full of what you were talking about. The main shonen protagonist is, like, he's gonna beat everybody. There's not gonna be much of a problem. It's like always gonna be the hero is a lot stronger, right? Mm-hmm. And then it transitioned with what used to be referred to as the big three of Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, to like it began to transition in that area from that to more characters that are like younger and less in control of their power, and like they have to kind of learn that we learn with them. And I think each of them do it a little differently, and I actually really like how One Piece does it a lot. Not that I hate training arcs, but like One Piece doesn't really do that. One Piece is just like we're supposed to assume. I mean, we'll see Zorro lifting weights all the time on the ship, and like we like assume that they are doing things to hone their abilities. But like we don't really see it. Anyway, it's just I definitely like that Luffy will be challenged, but we're starting out in that era of like the shonen protagonist should be really strong, and he is really strong. And I mean, to be fair, if you were going to take on the Grand Line, you probably want to be one of the best in the East Blue. So, I feel like it's accurate.
Definitely.
But that's all I had for this arc. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think that pretty much covered most of the bases I was thinking about too. So.
Nice. Well, then we will end with our question. So, which arc so far is your favorite arc?
I think that the first arc, I guess the Romance Dawn arc is what it's called.
Sure.
That one is still, I think, my favorite among the two. At least just for the time being, Because I really loved just that introduction to Luffy. It was something that I really liked. But I did really enjoy this arc as well. It's just, I really liked that arc, the Romance Dawn arc, a lot.
Yeah, I disagree. I like this one better. I like this one a little better. I like Orange Town a little better than Romance Dawn. It's not by a lot, though, because you're absolutely right. I think Chapter 1 is so good.
Yeah.
But then, like, the rest of the chapters in the Romance Dawn arc are, I think, not as good as the chapters here in Orange Town. And so that's why I say the Orange Town arc. Both are really good. One Piece is great all the way through. But I think I'd pick Orange Town. And what was your favorite character from this arc that you have?
I'm gonna say I think Zorro is still my favorite, just because of especially the fight that he had with Kabaji. We got to see a lot more of who he is, and we talked about that seriousness and being a pirate that he has now, and I just really like that about him.
Yeah, no, Zorro's really cool. I'm going to say from this arc, I really liked Buggy. I just really liked Buggy a lot. He's amazing. I laughed out loud several times from him. I really like him. So I highlight Buggy this arc. Because he's really good. He's a great character. Yeah. All right, so that means next week we're going to be doing the Syrup Village arc, which, if you're reading along with us, that's chapters 22 through 41. Thanks guys for listening. If you liked, you liked what we did here, definitely subscribe to the channel or like the video as well. And we will see you next week.